Instagram, and now we're live on Facebook.
We are trying.
Technical difficulties,
learning.
but we got it.
We are learning.
So let's reintroduce ourselves for Facebook.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Palmer. No, I'm joking.
I was about to say, wait.
I got so confused, I changed my name. I'm Dr. Charli, the book mama.
And I'm Stephanie Palmer, the grammar queen.
And we are here for some writer's therapy. Yay. So, yeah, I know we're excited. Yes. It's a really exciting month around here.
It is. It really is.
You want to tell them about it?
Yes, I will share that I'm excited to say that we have been in business for 6 years. It is our business anniversary / birthday, however you want to celebrate that. So I'm just excited to see the transformation and the growth within our business, and as well as the clients that we've been able to work with.
I know. We work with such a broad range of clients.
We're
really blessed because we don't ever get bored.
So absolutely.
Just when we think that we've edited about every kind of book there can be to be edited, like somebody surprises us and goes, yeah, but there's this one.
Right.
And so that kind of keeps us on our toes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's really fun. And it's really rewarding.
It is. Absolutely.
It is rewarding. So we're going to
time out. I got a surprise. So
you told me you didn't have any surprises.
I know. Well, and I just want to even just with timing and everything else, how long have you been with us, Charli? How long have you been with Self-Publishing 30 Days?
A year.
So it's right there at her anniversary too, as far as being there for a year. So that's exciting. And I will say that I've been here roughly 2.5 years working full time. Darren was doing the business, hands-on, solo prior to me getting here. He had a team.
He was Han Solo.
Yeah. A little bit.
He got a tan.
He did. So I just wanted to, just kind of touch on that, and it's exciting, and I'm glad to have you here for a year with us and all of that. You've been definitely a godsend as far as the editing and the publishing process goes, which is what we're going to kind of tie in and talk about today.
Okay, that sounds fun. But since you said God, I have some examples of why everyone should edit.
Okay, let's go there.
So they're church signs.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to read them because I can't show pictures of them. But if I just read them, everybody's going to get it. Okay. So these are church signs. Are you ready?
We're ready.
Best sausage supper in St. Louis. Come and eat Pastor Thomas Wrestler.
Yeah, definitely needs edited.
I'm sure the pastor would prefer not to be on the menu.
Right.
Okay, this Thursday will be our ice cream social. All women who are giving milk, please come early.
Yeah.
I'm just going to let that one sit there a minute. Right. Okay. Remember, these are church signs.
Right.
These are in public.
For everybody to see, real
see.
signs, y'all.
Okay. All right.
She was cutting up earlier.
Try these 4-letter words. Grace, love, pray.
Yeah, one of them does not fit in the 4-letter word
category. Does not have 4 letters. But since it's grace, we're going to show grace to the person who created that sign, right? Okay. Don't let worry kill you. Let the church help.
Oh, geez. God.
Well, surely there's someone in the church who knows how to do that.
Look, y'all, she was cutting up earlier.
Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Okay. Thursday night, potluck supper, prayer and medication to follow.
Oh, God. Yeah, you're missing a letter.
Meditation. Yeah. Okay. So last one. Remember in prayer the many who are sick of our church and community.
Wow.
I think they used it's supposed to be in community. So I don't think anyone is sick of the church and community. At least I hope not. Right. So anyway, I love to have fun.
You do.
I do.
Sometimes too much fun, y'all.
But at the same time, those are just some really fun examples of why editing really matters. And we are here to talk about the process of editing and writing a book. And that's just proof that even if you've been to seminary, you might need some editing.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So we want to talk about our process.
Yes.
Okay, I'll try to be serial for just a minute.
Okay, so I just want to even ask you, or even explain to our viewers, what is a process?
Really? Do you think I'm like the walking dictionary?
You really are. I mean,
I would say a process is a system that has a beginning and an end and a middle, and it is a series of steps, or maybe a better definition is a series of steps that completes a goal or an activity.
yes. Awesome. You did good. You did good without even looking at the notes. See,
I didn't look at the notes.
She knows. I'm telling y'all, if you need a word, she's your girl. So, yes. So, even as we're talking about the anniversary of self-published in 30 days, we have really been able to kind of hone in on our process. You've been a great contributor to that and what that looks like.
I'm a systems girl.
Yes, and me too, y'all. This is my jam. Like, I love editing. I love every part of the publishing process, but creating processes is like something that I just really, really love to do. So, with that being said, we do have a process that we incorporate at Self-Published in 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
And before we even go into the process of what that looks like, I want to tie in and let you know, every book is different. Like, every author that we talk to, every book, the styles, all of that. And we kind of shared that in former videos.
Yeah.
So the process of what it looks like is going to be similar, but we really customize the process for where each individual author is. So we learn through the strategy call, during the consultations, or whatever that looks like, to see
Right.
where, what their needs really are. And the great thing about it is they get the weekly consultations and the book concierge, or, the editing team, to kind of reach out so that they are informed on a step-by-step basis. Because Darren always talks about, how can you eat an elephant? Because writing a book is, it's a daunting task, but you get to, like the eating the elephant is one bite at a time. It's so we walk them through what that looks like. So can you kind of break it down? When they're getting ready to send us the rough draft, what is the first thing they need to do before they send us the rough draft?
Read it.
Yeah. Read the rough draft.
Read it. Yeah. Okay. So there are two extremes, probably. Okay. There are those who don't read it at all. And you really should. You might end up with some church signs.
Right.
And then there are those who read it too much.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Great advice.
It's so the ones who never read it, we want you to do that, because we don't want you to end up with a church sign situation, where you're trying to eat the pastor as part of the main course. That's terrible. You want to read through it just to make sure it makes sense, because when you're writing, you're like, you're just going, right? Or maybe you're dictating and you're just going and you think it makes sense. But if you don't go back and read it, it could really end up being confusing. But then you have those who are going to read it too much.
Right.
Yeah. And then you read and then you rewrite, and then you read and then you rewrite again. And then you read and then you rewrite again. And then you see what I'm talking about, because they're overthinking.
We've had people that have done it, completed their rough draft, read it again, and then started over. Yeah, overthinking.
Yeah, overthinking, guys. Before you start rewriting something, let your editor see it. Yeah. I think I can say this for most editors, and not just us. We're going to be honest.
Yes.
I mean, we're going to tell you really need to start over, or you know what, this is workable. Let's just work with what you have. We don't want to waste your time. We want to help you be successful.
Yeah.
So.
And I will say too, like the rough draft is kind of like the, getting to go on a date, date night. It's like the little black dress. And we're here to add the accessories and to enhance the black dress.
Wow.
I need to go on a date, y'all. That's
I think everybody needs to send Darren Palmer a message that his wife would like to go on a really nice date soon. I highly suggest you blow up his social media today, please and thank you.
Yes, yeah. Y'all do that in honor of
The
several others.
anniversary.
Yes, in honor of
Yes,
it.
totally.
That would so be that. Yeah, that's
Okay.
a reason for a date.
All right, Kim Watts, I see you on here. I'm totally depending on you to blow up Darren Palmer's phone with suggestions about how he can take his wife on a really hot date.
Yeah.
Okay.
And buy me the black dress.
Ooh, yeah, and the black dress. Okay. Throw in roses. I'm sure you have other great suggestions. Okay. So what comes after the rough draft?
Okay, so there's one of two ways, and this is where that customizing the each
author's different.
Mm-hmm. So before we even go into the editing piece and everything else, I kind of want to tie in what it looks like. So we create landing pages for our authors.
Okay, so for those who don't know, what is a landing page?
A landing page is a one-page website because it is great. At the end result, you will have your book on Amazon and several of the other large platforms. However, the clause is they want some of your money. So our goal is to put as much money in the author's pocket. So we create that landing page to where they can promote it before the book is completed, and they will get most of their profit. So yes. So with that being said, the landing page, we start working on that cover really first. We get the title lined out, the outline and the details of what that looks like. And then we work on that cover, because the cover along with the book synopsis and the author bio is going to go on that landing page. And a good thing about it is you're kind of doing, you're working in reverse, because the author synopsis, the author bio and the book synopsis is a dual purpose. So it's going to work for your landing page, and then it also goes to the final, the final steps of that full cover.
Right. Yeah. Have you ever bought like a gold dress?
No.
Like, yeah, or like I think there's another term people use for it sometimes, but so like if you're losing weight or something and you want to get to like a certain size, then you'll buy the size dress that you want to fit into, and then you kind of hang it up in your room.
I have done that.
Yeah. Yes. And so you watch to see, you were talking about little black dresses and made me think of it. So
we need to go shopping.
Right. The reason that I bring that up is because your book cover is kind of like your gold dress, right? Or your gold suit or your gold pants or whatever, because then you see it. When that book cover is created, it starts to get very real, and you realize, oh, I can really do this. I'm going there. This is not just something in my mind or my heart anymore. I can really get there. Yes. And so I was on the phone with an author this morning, and we just finished her book cover, and she recently started pre-orders, and her book cover's amazing.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Freakishly good. And I'm really excited about it. And it just, there's something about that book cover. It just makes her want to keep going. Yes. It's feeding that. And so it's inspirational to the writer itself. So I think it's an important step.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And you don't again, what you shared, not overthinking it, but just kind of lining out and knowing what you want that cover to look like, whether it be an image of something else that will tie the reader to the title to the image, or if it's going to be, if you're, promoting and marketing yourself and you choose to use an image of you, knowing what that process looks like as far as resolution and everything.
And I would just like to put in a little plug. Leave book covers to professionals,
please. Y'all, please.
Please and thank you. I'm begging you.
Yeah.
There are certain things, certain colors, certain looks, certain titles. Let an editor help you with that. Let somebody who knows what they're doing really steer you in the right direction, because you may get something in your mind, and this happened recently with one of our authors. Had something in mind, a certain title, a certain picture, and then we got it and we didn't get it at all. And when we tried to express, help us understand this, whatever, she got really discouraged and she just kind of started laying the whole project down. And we're like, no. The message between the front cover and the back cover is solid. We love the message. We just need to help you with your book cover.
Yeah.
So really, guys, if somebody's invented the wheel, you don't need to go reinvent it. Let people who know what they're doing help you. So that's just a little plug about book covers.
And then keep in mind too that we, we're here to help you. We have you in mind as
we
the
want
author.
Your vision to come out.
Absolutely. So everything that we offer to you are suggestions, and you ultimately get to decide what that looks like for you. So if you want the 30 word cover, have 30 words on your cover. That's no problem at all. Now, when it goes to, marketability and everything else, then you come back to us and tell us that, well, your book is not selling. We try to work on that ahead of time. So we're here to serve you. You are the client. It is your book. It's your baby. So we definitely want to make sure that it's what you love.
Right.
At the end of the day. It's business. We take us out of it, and we're here to serve you.
Typically what happens when we go through this process about book covers is that authors come back and they say, oh my gosh, that's so good.
Yes.
I love that. And they're so surprised. They're like, I had no idea that you could take my thoughts and my ideas and turn it into that. And
and I'm not going to, book plug as far as names, but we have a specific author and they haven't released their book quite yet. And I'm so excited about this book. It's really awesome. They shared what they wanted their cover to look like. I gave it to the team and I said, hey, this is the vision they had. I want you to duplicate that, but then give us something that speaks to you. Yeah. And the author, even though they had this vision in mind and this was what they had created, they kind of did a rough draft of what they wanted it to look like. They ended up going with what our team designed. And I will tell you, by far, I love all of our covers, but that one just speaks to me the most. So
and I know which one she's talking about, and I really want to announce it, but it's not our place.
And so we will announce it. So
hey, but look, Kim Watts, she's totally going to bat for you.
Yes, girl, add some jewelry to that. Tell them jewelry. Just my style, girl. We can do this. Yes. So So if anybody Kim said, told Darren to go buy me the dress and take me out on a date. So we need some jewelry and all of that to go along with it. So yes Kim, great plug. You can send him a text too.
Okay, bring it back around. You're going to get your date.
I know,
sure.
right.
Come on. I'll even babysit.
Okay.
So what's next after the cover and the landing page?
Okay. So the landing page, and let me just go back and tie that in. So the landing page, we typically promote before, and we also let everyone know if your investment is paid in full, then you will get the benefits of receiving those funds. And if not, it's a great alternative to have pre-orders that will go towards your investment. So it's a win-win, which is what one of our core values for Self-Published in 30 Days. So you're winning and our team is winning as far as getting you out there, promoting you, and also incorporating some of that investment, towards your investment.
Yeah.
So
and look, Kim Watts even said that we took her vision and created the best book cover.
Yay!
Thank you, Kim.
Yes.
Glad you loved it.
Yes. So then once you do the landing page and you've submitted, and that it's kind of simultaneous. So, you're working on the rough draft depending on where you are. And then we can also be working on that landing page so that we can start promoting it, because the longer promotion time that you have, and kind of even what you said as far as seeing what that cover looks like and seeing the progress, it just makes you want to work harder. It makes you want to keep going. It's encouraging. So that kind of is a simultaneous piece of that. And then of course, we've talked about editing and we weave it in and out. So when we get through with that editing process, is there anything that you want to share on the editing process, or I can move past that? And if we need to circle back, we can.
I would just say, trust your editor.
Yes.
When you have a good, dedicated, professional editor who has a process in place, trust the process and be dedicated to the whole process. You can't be pregnant in months 1 through 3 and then skip to 8 and 9 and have a full pregnancy. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
You got to carry the baby the whole time.
Yes.
So I feel really bad for the men that are on here. I'm sorry. We have analogies about wives and marriage and dates and flowers and jewelry and pregnancy. And yeah, so it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
But you just can't do that. You have to carry the baby full term. You have to carry your book full term. You have to be part of every stage. Once you start the editing process, it's really more on the editor and less on the writer.
Mm-hmm.
But if the writer doesn't do their part, the editor can't do their part. You know, so
say that one more. Say it one more time. One more time.
If the writer doesn't do their part, the editor can't do their part. So it's a symbiotic relationship.
It is. Yes.
I like that word.
Yes, you do. As well as many other
I just love
words.
the way it sounds. It's symbiotic. Okay.
Yes. So with that being said, before
look at Kim Watts says, I trusted the process. I'm now a 3-time author.
Woo-hoo, congratulations,
Yes,
Kim. Yes,
yes.
awesome. So with that being said, authors, aspiring authors, writers, make sure you focus on the editing process. That means you want to diligently look through what the editor has done. Do not wait until we get ready to print it and you have these lavish ideas of how you want to change this and you don't think this, and now you feel like your uncle's mom's brother's going to get upset because you mentioned him in a lot. No, that is not the time to do that.
Right.
So when you are in the editing phase of everything, you want to be sure to commit to lining out the details in advance. You do not want to, you want to do it then. You do not want to wait until we are getting ready to go to print to make changes. In fact, because our process has changed, we no longer allow content changes once it goes into interior design.
So I thought of a guy example.
Oh yes. Okay, what is it?
Do you ever watch Gas Monkey Garage?
I have no idea what that is, y'all.
I'm so sorry, y'all.
Pull stuff out of her
I'll
hat.
educate her later. Okay, so Gas Monkey Garage. You don't go in and take your car into Rich Rawlings. Okay, you don't take it in and say, I want you to do this, and then show up when it's all done and he has done this beautiful job on whatever car he's doing, and then say, yeah, but I was really wanting this to have purple fenders, or I was really hoping that it would be more of a plum instead of a lavender, or I was really wanting for there to be flecks in that paint. So what can you do about it? You don't do that when your hot rod is ready to roll out. Yeah. It's part of the process. It's part of the planning. You have to make sure that you're checking in all the time and that you're getting what you want. Yes. So there you go.
Yeah.
Guy example.
Yeah, we gave it to you. Yeah. Well,
Man caves around the world are going to say, Dr. Charli, use Gas Monkey Garage to talk about writing.
Yes.
She's so cool. Yeah.
You're so funny. Girl, how could we be serious with her? Like, I'm telling you, it's a whole nother discussion. But yes, so we want to make sure that you are following the flow of what the author or the editor suggests. Yeah. And like I said again, I will reiterate many times over, they are just suggestions. So when you are going through the editing process, if you look at our changes or look at the editor's changes and you're like, no, I don't want to go with that, I want to go with this, that's perfectly okay. But stay true to that decision and hold on to that, because later on down the road, you're not going to be able to make changes. So
thank you, Kim.
So let's go ahead and while I'm there, because a lot of people may not know what interior design is. So do you want to take that, or would you like me to share? What do you?
Interior design is the process where a book starts to look like a book.
Yay.
It is all based in a particular software that we use in order to format what was previously a Word document, and we make it look like a book.
Yes.
And it does it in such a way that it makes the pages the right size. It incorporates different fonts. It incorporates different spacing. It incorporates whatever look you want inside your book.
Yes, absolutely. So while we are there, let's talk about even the fonts that go into the book, the details that go into the interior design process. Because what we do is we do what we call ID prep. So we're getting it ready to go to interior design. And the great thing about our process is the author sees everything before we hit send.
Right.
You are there, you're informed, you know this is what it's going to look like. We're not going to, send you something and then submit a completely different document. It is going to be, hey, we want your approval. We want you to have your eyes on this. Take your time if you need to, whatever that looks like, so that you know what is being submitted. Now, I will say, as far as the details and everything else, note that the fonts that you have for your cover, typically for aesthetic reasons, they use this similar fonts. There have been cases where we've kind of switched it up, but for the most part, the fonts that are utilized on your cover are going to be what goes in your for the chapter titles.
Because you don't want it to look like the Jetsons on the outside and the Flintstones on the inside.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So cleaning that up, but then I want to talk about some extra details and some tweaks and things that as we've worked on the process, just the details of pull quotes. Tell us what pull quotes are.
Pull quotes are when the author has literally come up with something completely genius, and we think that it needs to be highlighted. It's really key points in your manuscript, and we usually pull one or two a chapter, and we just say, hey, you know what, that if you don't read anything else in the chapter right there, that needs to be said.
Yes.
And so we will highlight that and bring it out into a section on the page that is, it's bigger font. It might be in a box. It may have a graphic with it of some kind that really draws attention to it. And so the reader will say, oh yeah, I remember, I read that a minute ago. That's really poignant or salient. Some other really cool word like that.
Yeah, words. I'm taking notes.
Yeah. So can I tell you what my favorite part of the interior design process is?
Tell us.
It's the prototype.
Yes.
It's the prototype.
Yes.
And I think that's something that you came up with. I don't know.
We learned this trial and error. We were actually doing the entire manuscripts.
Oh,
and then the author said, I don't like that, or I want this changed. I want that changed. I want this changed. Right. So we incorporated
the prototypes. Okay, so a prototype in real life is literally the first version, the alpha or the beta of something, okay? And so our prototype is the interior design team goes in and they create the cover page, they create the table of contents, and they go into the first chapter. And so that way you know what all parts of the book are going to look like with the fonts that we've picked out and the graphics that we've picked out if there are any graphics. And you know how much white space there's going to be on the page. You know how much spacing there's going to be between the letters. Just like in your word processing documents, there's all these different fonts. We are very careful to make sure that we choose fonts that match what you're saying.
Yes.
So we're not going to choose really scripty, pretty, dainty font if it is a business book.
Right.
That's not what it's about. Unless your business is lace, literally you're a lace factory and that's what your book is about. We're not going to do all this swirly, feminine, curvy lettering because that's not what a business mindset is. Okay, so the prototype comes. It's not the whole book. It's just it's like a slice of the pie.
Yes,
and you get to approve what that is, and at that point you can say, I like the font. I don't like the font. Could you come up with something slightly different for the pull quote or whatever?
Right.
So, but it's really handy.
It is. It is and it has been very helpful, and it has definitely served its purpose as far
as. It's like painting a room, but you just paint one wall first.
Yeah, get that. Yeah, definitely.
Then you get to see how much you're going to like that yellow.
Yes. We did not pick the paint color, by the way.
Mm-mm.
No. Anyway, but yes, so that it is very helpful. So once they approve the prototype or make revisions.
Oh, Candace Sanchez is on. Hey,
Yay!
Candace, it's good to see you.
Yes. So as soon as they do that, then we complete the interior design. Prior to completing the interior design, and we kind of jumped, we will be doing the copyrights and, getting that that book an ISBN number. So you will receive the information. It's thorough. We tell you what it is that we need from you. We work on our end. So that will be completed during the interior design process. So when they complete the interior design.
Can I say something about the copyright?
Say it.
Don't hire an electrician to be a plumber. If you don't know anything about how to get a copyright, please let us do it for you, because we've actually had a few instances where people try to get their own copyrights prior to doing their book because they were afraid to send it to us because they had to be copyrighted first. And guys, it's just not a process you want to compromise on.
Right.
That's what makes that book your book. That prevents all kinds of legal issues. We're just going to leave it there. But don't hire an electrician to be your plumber.
Yeah, don't do that. Do not do that. Yeah. So with that being said, once the interior design is complete, what is the next step? Interior design. So that means the entire book is formatted.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's edited it.
Everybody has edited. Now what?
Proof copies. Because
you're going a step ahead.
Oh.
We send it to the author for their approval, and that's when we send them our.
Well, I thought that's what editors were. I'm sorry.
What?
I'm not inside her head this morning. I'm sorry.
No, not for that moment. But no, we send them the sheet where they fill out their edits.
Yeah.
Yes. So
we haven't. That's what I meant. Yeah. So we have.
So
once
ID
we
edits.
get the whole book done, then we actually send it to you so that we can. We read it. We want you to read it, the writer, and we're going to go through that whole interior design process. It's a PDF file that we'll send to you, and we have an actual system for editing at that point, and we give you instructions on how to do that. And then we want you to go by and tell us any corrections, not content.
No
at that point,
none.
You don't get
Zero.
no content. Zero, nada, nimnoga. That's Russian. That's zero in Russian, y'all. Nimnoga. Okay, so everybody on here learned something today. Anyway, but if maybe there's two periods, maybe you think there's should be a space between a period and the next letter,
yes.
Or maybe a word there should be there, or it should be there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway. Those are the kind of things that you want to look for in that edit.
Yes. And we go through and how I do it. Yes. My process, or how I go through and I look at the formatting. So I look at the layout of all of it and then take note of any of the formatting changes that need to be made, and then go in and edit it line by line, because I will say, from the Word document to the PDF, it does read differently. It's not going, I mean, of course the words are the same. However, it's like, it kind of plays tricks on your eyes, and it does read different. We've even had authors, and we've even done it before, where we go and typically, they can go and print out, if they choose to print out their book, depending on what the length of the book is, they can print it out and kind of, go line by line if that's what they choose to do. If not, they can utilize the PDF, your computer, and use it that way. However, like Charli said, we have a system that we use. So if you go if you tell us, I did all the edits, and you send us back a PDF and you've made the edits in the PDF, guess what? You got to do it all over again, because our system is not going to pick that up, and it's going to change the formatting in the entire book. So be mindful of the instructions that you are sent when you are sent the instructions, and you need to follow them. If you have questions, we always let you know. We're there to help you. We want to make sure that it's done correctly. So with that being said, I've been saying that a lot.
I know.
With that being said, go ahead.
Now we get to talk about proof copy
edits.
edits.
Because after we finalize the ID edits, now it's time.
So here's the hard part for writers: is you get to that point and you're like, okay, so all the edits are done, and I can now order it from Amazon, or I can order it from, my publisher. I know you can, but you don't want to do that for all your friends because there's one more edit left. There's actually a thing that happens in the brain that when you go from one medium to another. So when you go from the computer screen you go to a hard copy where it's actually a piece of paper, right?
Yes.
Okay. So when that happens, you can actually see things that you didn't see before. So that is what we call the proof copy edit. And it is actually the very, very last edit. And this is where we lose authors sometimes. They think, okay, it's printed, I'm done. And I'm like, no. Because the author gets a copy and the editor gets a copy, or we get a copy, and we read through it again, and we will still find little things that we need to correct because we want to make it as perfect as possible.
Yes.
Now, we're human.
Right.
We're not all, well, you might be close, but
like this close.
She's getting there, y'all. But I got a long way to go, and I own it. And so anyway, so we're really working at putting that in as perfect a spot as possible. And so that very last edit is really, really important.
Yes.
But let me tell you, when you can hold that book in your hand, it is so rewarding.
Yes.
And so you read through it that one last time, and then we put those edits in, and then
they get to order their books.
They get to order their books.
You're done. So yeah, it is definitely a process, but I will say, being committed from the beginning to the end is probably one of the most important things, because you want to make sure that you fully participate, and it's a book that you want to.
And that is what has made self-published so successful. And that's why we can handle so many books at one time, is because we have a process, and we know where it is, and we know how to categorize, and we know how to do things. Oh, look at that. Kim Watts has got your back, girl. Diamonds, perfume, cash.
Cash.
Lord.
I will take it. I receive it in Jesus' name.
Y'all. What would Darren Palmer say? Do I have a praying church?
Right? Yes.
Okay.
Amen to that.
All right. So that's the process.
Yeah, that's the process.
And if you follow it, it works.
Yes.
Especially when you have writers, therapists to help you out along the way.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
I think I'm done.
I think I am too.
All right. Well, I'm Dr. Charli, the book mama.
Stephanie Palmer, the grammar queen.
My co-host.
Yay.
Awesomeness. All right. We'll see y'all next week.
All right. Have a good one.